Hey guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to raidlore Stories. Today's lore story is going to be for Korugar Deathbell of the Ogren tribe. He's a really cool champ, and I have not checked out his story, so let's read it together. The tolling of the bells in Anhalt was once a call for brave soldiers to take up arms, or a sign of victory and blessings. Now, many are cautious when they hear a distant chime. It may belong to Korugar Deathbell. As a mocker of those who had wronged his kin, this Ogren warrior took up the holy symbol of the bells and anointed them in blood. Like many of his kin, Korugar grew up with a view over the city of lost dreams, a once magnificent city, now a husk of fallen pride thanks to the armies of the Telerian League. Even as a youth, Korugar understood the injustice scorches through the earth and listened with ever-growing rage to the orcs and lizardmen who ranted about the humans and their beautiful stone cities. It was surprising to none when he picked up an axe and joined a raiding force, determined to exact what revenge they could. Korugar traveled the world with his band of gallant comrades. The further he ventured, the more he saw how his kin suffered, exiled to far reaches of forests and wastelands, or living among humans and elves as little more than servants as they were. His youthful rage became a bloodlust. He had found a cause worth fighting for. Proving himself a leader, Korugar defended skinwalker settlements, assisted lizardmen raids, and liberated Ogrens from oppression. The more he fought and the larger his band grew, the more his infamy spread across Anhalt. News of this fierce band of gallant rebels unsettled the coast-dwelling humans and high elven nobles, some of whom now thought twice before turning away a cold skinwalker or underpaying their Ogren farmhands. But to the Gallants, the name of Korugar was a spark of hope. A budding flame of pride began to smolder among the Ogrens, something they had rarely felt since the time before the loss of their great city of dreams. They shared tales of a great warrior who fought for gallant justice and a fairer world, a leader who fought in the vanguard with his comrades and defended the wounded. Korugar's reputation led Ogren from all corners of the world to heed his call to arms and join his ever-expanding force. Besides brave fighters came Ogren of many talents. Cooks, builders, and craftsmen were among the many who came to join Korugar in his efforts. One of these craftsmen supplied warriors with sturdy steel and forged a new flaming axe for Korugar. With his army behind him, Korugar headed to Arabia and marched into the towns and villages from which his people had been driven. He demanded that the citizens pay for the mistreatment of the gallant races and that they mend the wrongs of their ancestors by allowing gallant folk to reside in the lands as equal citizens. When Korugar was refused, he left those towns and villages as smoldering ash. Yet with every battle, his forces were only met with more resistance. Korugar moved gradually south, indiscriminately attacking elf and human settlements. But his campaign was halted at a small town of little prior importance, where Korugar and his army suffered its first defeat. When Korugar arrived at the town walls, he was met by ringing bells and an army of the Sacred Order. The battle was long and the losses were many. While Korugar risked his life to save one warrior, another would fall. For every knight he would cut down, 2 of his warriors met their end. When the Sacred Order rang the ceremonial bells for the second time, it signaled their victory, and Korugar knelt, wounded and exhausted, surrounded by the bodies of his warriors. As humans celebrated, Korugar was forced to withdraw, the bells mocking his failure. Their ringing stayed long in his head, taunting him in his sleep. In the weeks following his defeat, he rebuilt his forces and vowed he'd never again retreat. Korugar later returned to the site of the battle. This time, his army crushed the Sacred Order's knights, and Korugar took the town's bells as trophies. Korugar continues to fight for his kin. The once holy bells he carries now announcing his arrival on the battlefield. Soldiers and knights have learned not to trust distant chimes, for not all signal an approaching priest or traveling merchant. Too many tales have been told by wounded survivors of a haunting peal of bells before death descended upon their ranks. When the bells toll, living with the shame of fleeing from the battle seems a fair price for many soldiers, for the death bell shows no mercy. Wow, okay, I gotta say that's a pretty good story. I like how they explain that and describe it. So, are these the bells here? I'm thinking these are the bells that they're talking about, right? For some reason, I was kind of envisioning like a really big bell, but I'm thinking, oh wait, no, right there. Oh, there it is. All right, here's the design. So that's what he did. He literally took it and put it on his back. So guys, what do you think about this story for Korugar Deathbell? Thank you for watching and drop me some comments down below.